One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm standing at the crossroads, feeling like a lost soul. Don't know where I wanna go, but all I know is I wanna be free. They telling me to let it be, but that just ain't in me, no. Jealousy and envy, but all I see is I wanna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Don't let it get the most of me. Eventually, I'm gonna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be free. Let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I told them take their aim off me. Stop trying to get a name off me. If they would just let me be, I'm gonna be free. I told them take some chains off me and throw away the locks and keys. If they would just let me be, eventually I'm gonna be free.
They're back.
What up, everybody? What up? What up? What up?
What up, though?
We got damn, them 7 days went by pretty quick, didn't it?
It's insane.
Right. So we got we got a show for you tonight. We're gonna before we kick into it, like I said, I'm Archbishop, it's Mike Ball. We got Aaron Olinga with us tonight, and this is the Diamond Effect. So before we get started, I ask both of you, how was your week? What was y'all into? Everything cool with you? This, that, and the third? I mean, just kind of run it to me. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Great.
Go ahead, Aaron. Get it.
Oh, everything's great. I've been out doing some canning, some peppers and things I pulled out of my garden and learned how to do some canning. So picking up some new skills right now.
Nice. Get you.
Sure.
All right. Yeah, man, I'm doing good. It's been a fulfilling week. It's been a whole bunch of shit going on my side, but it's going good. I got my brother Junkyard from the chat, man. He just showed up about an hour and a half ago and so we've been hanging out. He's kicking it in the background right now, and we chilling, man. It's gonna be a good week. That's for damn sure. That's right.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, it's been a pretty busy week. You know, I told y'all before I've been started on this new movie called Standing on Business.
That's right. When is that coming out?
We actually that one just started.
Oh, it just started. So what was?
Yeah, we just started filming that first.
So now you're on your second ordeal.
Yeah, I'm on the second.
Look at you, man. All right, must be nice being at the top like that, Mr. Hollywood.
Yeah, the first one is Rotten Dirty. From my understanding, this should be out within the next couple months. But then we started on a new one called Standing on Business, and that was, excuse me, started doing scenes on that over the weekend. So my whole weekend was tied up on that. But from what's been going on so far, I think it's gonna be a damn good movie for real. It's gonna be damn good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What's your role in that movie?
I am a police lieutenant.
Wow, that's cool. You gotta love when it's acting, man. It's all actors.
Yeah. To kind of give you, I mean, I'll give you a little quick synopsis of it. It's like it's a group of detectives, and they basically got this underground thing going on. They robbing everybody. You know what I mean? They robbing everybody you can think of robbing.
Sure.
And it's a lot of other people involved. You know what I mean? You got judges involved, you got DAs involved. I mean, it's just a whole big coup that goes on. And this lieutenant is like one of the ones that's basically orchestrating a lot of the stuff that's going on.
Dope.
So so it's a good movie.
I can't wait. I want to see it, man.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything in it.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's a whole lot of drama, some violence, some some robberies.
I saw your scenes in the previous movie. In your first movie, I saw the scenes. I was like, holy shit, it looks like I wouldn't want to be the person that you're taking down on the couch like you did. Like, it looked like it hurt. You know what I mean? You're like a real actor, man. It's crazy to see on the big screen. That's awesome.
Man, yeah, I can't wait for that one to come out. Like I said, but this one here that we just started doing, I think that's gonna be a real good movie. Real good movie.
Hell yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up.
So we're gonna hit this off. This show here, we're gonna do a little different. So instead of having one particular thing we're going to be talking about, we got a number of things we're going to be talking about.
Sure.
And we're going to open up the call lines because we want to get your input on it, because some of this stuff is affects everyone. Some stuff is just flat out bull. Some of it kind of raises implications towards other things. So
man, that's mainstream media right there. Yep.
Yeah. So you ones that's on the chat line right now, you know what I mean? When you start hearing some of the stuff, we talking about some stuff, you want to chime in, we're going to put the call number down there, pick up the phone, call it, and let us hear from you.
Yep.
So, we're going to start it out first.
There we go.
I got a quick one that we're going to play here and this very first story we're going to talk about is the other day where Russia and China basically united and was flying bombers close to the Alaska shoreline, and of course they were intercepted by American jets. But just the fact that they steady keep trying to pull the little shenanigans here and there, you know what I mean, just trying to see how far they can go without somebody actually coming out there. You know what I mean? That's slowly becoming a problem. So we're gonna play this quick one here, and then we're gonna start chiming in on it.
Let's do it.
Turn now to the dramatic images off the coast of Alaska. For the first time, U.S. and Canadian fighter jets intercepting 2 Russian and 2 Chinese bombers. The incident raising concerns about the growing cooperation between Russia and China. Here's Martha Raddatz.
It was a bold, provocative, and unprecedented move, clearly meant to send a message to America. For the first time ever, Russia and China conducting joint patrol exercises in international airspace off the coast of Alaska and providing these videos to prove it. Launching in darkness from the same Russian base, 2 Chinese and 2 Russian unarmed but nuclear-capable strategic bombers aerially refueling over the Pacific as the U.S. military tracked them all the way. An array of armed American and Canadian fighter jets scrambling and then intercepting the bombers as they came within 200 miles of Alaska. This is the view from the U.S. aircraft provided by the Pentagon. This is the view from the Russian cockpit of the U.S. fighter jets and also the Chinese bombers.
This is the first time that we've seen these two countries fly together like that. They're always testing us, and that's no surprise to any of us.
The U.S. jets followed the Chinese and Russian aircraft for nearly an hour before the bombers returned to their bases.
Pentagon officials say they were not surprised by the joint exercises, but the Russians and Chinese made no secret of this mission. They want to reinforce not only their military might, but the partnership that grows deeper every day. David?
Yeah, that was quite something. Martha Raddatz. Thank you, Martha.
Okay, so now y'all seen that. Now, so according to the Defense Secretary, Lloyd Austin, he said that this was the first time that they've seen China and Russia join forces to where they're doing flyovers like they were doing. So that automatically tells you that it's some shit brewing for them to even be able to do that in the first place, or to even feel confident enough to do it. You know, now we said that they were picked up by NORAD, of course, and then they sent out jets or whatever to intercept. But the question I'm asking you two is, number one, why and how do they feel that they're so confident to do this, to get, you know what I mean, to try to go as close as they could go? You know what I mean? Kind of like they pressing their luck just to see what's going to happen. And the second question is that, being the fact that they did do that, what do you think the next thing they're going to try to pull?
Go ahead, Aaron.
Okay. One, it costs quite a bit of money every time we send them jets up. I'm going to use Taiwan as an example. When China would start pressing them, they were sending up their full Air Force there for a minute. It started costing so much money. Now that you only send up so many planes to try to intercept. The day will come when those planes won't turn around and they'll press and come on in. If something happens to you every day, you become desensitized to it. You're not alarmed. It's like, oh, it's happening again, no big deal. That's when it will be a big deal. So we got to stay vigilant. We can't drop our guards because they're probing us to find where our weaknesses is, where we're going to be complacent at. And when they figure it out, they'll put a game plan together, and that's when we'll get hit.
Damn, I gotta give it to Aaron on that one. He's spot on. That's it. I mean, I couldn't have said that better myself. You definitely said that exactly what I agree with, 100%.
See, that was kind of my thinking too. Is okay, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it on a routine basis to see how many times they're gonna actually come out here, and how many times they're gonna be like, oh, they just doing a flyover again. They ain't going.
No kidding.
Ain't going nowhere. Yep. You know, or one of the situations where, you know, you does send a squadron of planes one place, and then somebody else come from your backside. You know what I mean? So you going one way because they're 200 miles from here, and then you got another set that may be, you know, 300 miles south of you. You know what I'm saying? So you moving around accordingly. You know what I mean? Trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Like, I think this is just like it's like a government mind fuck that they trying to do to each other.
No kidding. Well, I mean, it seems like everyone in the chat seems to agree with that. You know what I mean? Definitely. It shows, you know, because the government is a joke at this point. Yeah. I mean, I can't disagree.
Well,
And I'd like to add one other point there too.
Go ahead,
I don't
man.
know if you guys are old enough to remember this, but I am. When the Iron Curtain fell, it fell because the United States government collapsed the Soviet economy. Soviet Union, because of the Cold War, was trying to chase us weapon for weapon. Every time we'd create something, they would try to create something to match us or go better. We knew their economy was pressed, and we made them spend money that they couldn't spend until eventually it collapsed. Their economy collapsed. The Iron Curtain came down in Germany. Soviet Union couldn't hold on to all those countries they was holding on to no more, and they had to release the Balkans. They had to release East Germany. We just ran them out of money, and they know that we're hurting right now. So they're going to try to make us spend some money, and then we start trying to go cheap with it. That's when they're going to nail us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you think that because we are as spread it out as we are right now, you know, because you got to think we got troops over in Europe, we got ships over in Israel.
We got them everywhere. Seems like
We're spread it out all over the place right now.
mm-hmm.
So do you think that that's probably the reason why they're doing this is because they're thinking like, okay, they spread it out everywhere.
We're bossed
So,
up, basically.
With you being spread it out as far as you spread it out, that means that there is a hole somewhere that we can get into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's just try this and see where it happens. You know what I mean? I seen the question, well, not a question, but a comment on it that was talking about the, you know, shows how weak the government is. Well, when you're actually dealing with this and you dealing with NORAD and the armed forces, the White House is the last person to know about that. They automatically jump on that.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as they detect it, they automatically jump onto that. You know what I mean? So that's not nothing that you got to call and ask Biden, is it okay for them to do? That's automatic. Sure. You know, but being the fact that, I guess the question that I'm asking is that being the fact that we are spread it out across the world as thin as we are right now, dealing with all different kind of conflicts, do you think that's the reason why they're trying to find this niche that they can get into?
I think you have a valid point there. Our forces are located in 88 different countries around the world right now.
Wow.
And
88.
That's a lot to spread out. I mean, you got 100 and maybe 86 or 188 countries in the whole world, and we're occupied in about 88 of them.
Wow.
So
that's a lot.
We're covering about a third of the world with our forces, and that's spreading pretty thin. I mean, our technological edge gives us the ability to do that. But if we're pressed in a full court battle of war, how can we supply all that many different groups from the United States if we're
going to get a call
right
here? Hold on. Let me bring it into this one. Boom. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and answer this.
Call from
Ken.
To accept, press 1. To send.
Hello, what's going on with you? We are on the Diamond Effect. How's it going, my man?
Hello, can I be heard?
How's it going? You're on.
Okay, I can't hear you through my phone, but I can hear you through the show mic. So I don't know how that's
weird.
Going.
How?
But real quick, this is why we need Trump on. Shout out to Aaron Olinger for joining the show. You always bring a lot of great perspectives, a lot of great information. Shout out to Mike Ball. Shout out to Big Dog Archbishop. I just wanted to call in to say this is why we need the MAGA train to come on through, man, because right now we're a joke. I mean, and I need my Democrats to sit back, even my Democrats in the audience, you know, call in if you disagree. This is why we need the MAGA train. We have more focus in the military right now with transgender rights. We want to put our soldiers in dresses, and we want to do all this woke stuff. And listen, when I say woke, I mean something different than other people. I understand that there is racism. I understand that there are problems in the military. You have Apparently a problem with sexual assault in the military, right? We need to protect the ladies that are in the military. They need to be protected, right? They need a voice. Okay. There's a lot of nepotism. You got some racism. You got some, I mean, you got bullshit in the military, right? But let's focus on that right now instead of, well, this soldier wants to be a girl now, so we need to pay for it. And we need to put him give him a spotlight and give him a stage and celebrate this. We're looking weak right now. This is the military. Can I curse on the show, Brother Bishop? Can I curse? Can I say the F word? This is the fucking military.
That's right.
Okay? This is the military. This is not the place to experiment with social stuff and, well, let's try this and that. No, this is where you need efficiency, you need strength, you need masculinity, you need logic, this is what you don't need the BS.
I tend to agree with you.
This is what we're getting with the Biden administration, and this is what we're going to continue to get with the Kamala Harris administration. So, guys, I mean, listen, we say we love America. I love America. I'm not going to ramble, but we say we love America. Okay, well, guess what? There will be no America if there is no military, okay? And if we are seen as weak, and if we are taken over, and if we are conquered as a country because people see us as pussies on the world stage, guys, we got a problem. All these rights we enjoy, they're going to go away. So all this, the arguments are moot if the country is no longer here. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, I'm gonna hop off. I'll hop back on if anybody wants to call in and argue against what I said, and we'll do it respectfully. But I appreciate you guys having my call. But that's all I wanted to say, man. Y'all have a good one.
That's awesome, man. Have a wonderful one. I appreciate you for calling in. I like that. What do you guys think about that?
Well, let me add a little bit more to it, because earlier I alluded to the fact that we're in trouble financially right now.
Yes.
I mean, we
very
lost
much so.
Yeah, we lost the petrodollar agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Direct alliance is formed up against us. China right now, this past week, started dumping our treasuries. That's our debt. We can't afford that.
China also did this last week?
This past week, yeah.
Oh, wow.
They started dumping some of our treasuries. So when you start hearing about treasuries and bonds, that's U.S. debt. That's our #1 export. We're selling our debt to other countries.
So how much money do you think they're sending back to us at this point?
Oh, man, it's going to be billions of dollars.
Oh.
Look, I'm going to show you how this is going to come about. Right now, all of our banks are complaining that in record levels right now, people are defaulting on their home loans, their car loans, and their credit cards.
And it's a record high. Yes.
So that's depleting the reserves that the banks have in them. Now, BRIC Alliance this week is now requiring any country wanting to join, they have to join it with the condition that they will de-dollarize. And by de-dollarize, that means
the American dollar.
Yeah, you can use oil, you can use gold, you can use your currency or the BRIC Alliance currency, but you cannot use American dollars for world trade.
Oh, so it went from we're the only world trade to now you can't even use our currency.
Yeah, anyone that joins the BRIC Alliance is not allowed to use American currency.
Anyone in BRIC, right?
Yeah, they have to de-dollarize. So all them dollars is going to be coming back to the United States, and it's going to flood our system.
Jesus.
And with China dumping our debt right now, they're trying to put us into a depression economy.
Right.
I mean, we're getting ready to go into some hard times, whether people realize it or not. And a war could bring us out of the depression, because it did the first one. I mean, everybody was partying. They was having the roaring 20s. And then one day on a Tuesday morning, the Federal Reserve raised interest rates and the stock market crashed. We were in the Great Depression for 12 to 15 years. It took World War II to bring us out of it.
Mm-hmm.
They gave full employment to everybody, and they reduced world population at the same time. So we're heading back that way right now. There's a lot of similarities. And can we afford to fight on multiple fronts? I mean, I'm going to allude to that later when we start talking about Israel. But
Oh man, there's
can we afford to fight on multiple fronts right now? And I don't think we can. But,
I think
go ahead.
I'm very interested in what he has to say about Israel when we get to that. But
it's a bunch. Yeah, it's a bunch we're gonna talk about when we
absolutely.
But then too, you also have to realize that the actual value, I don't know whether a lot of people realize this or not, but the value of the dollar has actually dropped.
Yeah,
it's actually dropped quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
A couple weeks ago,
what's the comparison now compared to?
I'll tell you this. I have a friend of mine that lives over in Britain, and we were talking on the phone. We were messenger over the phone, and he was at the store buying stuff, and he forgot his wallet. So he was like, "Hey man, do me a favor, send me $100, and I'm gonna send it back to you as soon as I get to the house." Okay, so I went on PayPal to send the money to him. So the $100 that I sent to him, and you know, any other time that you go, U.S. currency was always way more than every other currency. I sent him that $100.
He got $65.
Out of that $100, he got $75.80.
Yeah, I called that shit. Yep.
That's what he got. $75.80. So everywhere else, it's dropping. The value of the dollar is dropping. Okay. That was when I seen that, you know what I mean? That was like full evidence to me, like, oh shit. You know what I mean? Because you really don't realize it here, you know, because
you're doing your daily life, going to the grocery store, right?
Yeah, you don't realize.
You're not seeing, yeah.
But it is actually dropping, and being the fact that China is dumping those treasuries, I think at one point, am I right, Aaron, that the actual payment that the U.S. is doing a month is like $1 trillion, and that's just
Right.
interest. That's just interest payment.
Interest, and we can't make the interest payment. We're failing.
So if you paying $1 trillion a month in interest, and then they're dumping the treasuries back on you,
you're going so far backwards.
Exactly.
It's not even funny. Yeah.
Right. And you can't just keep printing, because
no, you can't.
No point in keep printing, because they're giving it back to you. That's the problem. They're giving it back to you. You already have more out than what you needed in the first place.
You would think that's a good thing, but it's actually a terrible thing to happen when we get our money back like that. Yeah.
Right. And the same thing that I've been saying it for months, you know, whether we like it or don't like it, we're going to war. It's going to happen. Ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it.
Just say it like it is. Yeah.
And the reason why it's going to happen is this right here. Because they are not going to let them bankrupt them. They are not going to let them do it. And if that means that I got to go to war and fight y'all's asses, I don't give a damn who I got to fight. That's what they're going to do. It's going to happen. You got to think about it. The U.S. dollar has been dominant for 103 years.
Yeah, and we just lost it.
Right. There is no way possible that you can sit here and randomly think that they're going to sit on their hands and just let BRICS just come in and just wipe them off the map. They're not going to do it.
Yeah, right.
If it happens, they'll do it fighting.
Yes, they're going to go down that way. They're going to die that way.
Exactly.
Right.
It won't be because I'm just letting you do it.
They're going to explode that way. Yes.
So it's going, you know, and if you look back at a lot of this stuff that they're putting into place now, you already know this is what they're doing. They already passing bills now, changing the draft. Adding women to the draft now. You know what I mean? You got 18 to 26. They just signing bills to reinstate the draft if necessary. They already making steps for this. People just ain't paying attention to what they're doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? They going day by day, half of them, you know, because they're not really talking about a lot of this stuff on the news. They're not really talking about a lot of this stuff. They give you bits and pieces,
of course
but they're not going all the way in.
How would they do that?
Involved in this stuff. This shit is about to happen. I mean, this ain't no conspiracy theory. This is fucking fact.
Right.
It's gonna happen.
No, you're speaking facts right now. 100%.
So we're going
Yeah, I mean,
Before we
we're
move to the
watching.
next one, is everybody clear on this one? Are we?
Oh
Do we
yeah.
need to move
Oh
to the
yeah.
next?
We beat
Okay.
the hell out of that one.
Okay. So the second one I wanted to talk about, and I got a video for this one too.
Uh oh.
Did you? Let me play the video first.
Okay.
Let me play it.
All right.
This some Frabernacle bullshit.
Let's run it. Let's run it. Oh man.
Did you see that?
I saw it.
Okay. Now that was supposed to be a depiction of the Last Supper at the Paris Olympics.
Right.
Now you see that you got 12 people from the fucking Village People that was doing this. Now you got a lot of people that was in uproar about this. It was like, how dare them, mock the Last Supper,
Mhm.
way they did. But then of course they tried to, change it up and say that it was a performance was it was a nod to a pagan celebration featuring Dionysus, which is the god of fertility and fertility, wine, and revelry, which is
Right.
bullshit to me. Which is bullshit. Now you look at the picture and you can tell damn well what you was doing. Now don't try to cover that up. You know damn well what you was doing. Now, but this ain't the first. This has been, if you've noticed here for the past year or so, there's been several demonstrations or web productions, or however you want to put it,
Right.
that's been either demonic in nature or using religious epithet to promote another agenda. So my question to you guys is, number one, if you've seen this prior to me showing this, and two, what is your thoughts about it? Either one of you. I don't care.
Well, I saw it briefly, and it wasn't something that I studied or anything. I thought that it's a bit of an embarrassment. Kind of did one of those face palm moments. But aside from that, it's just I think it's offensive in that regard. But this is something that, like you said, this is not the first time it's ever happened. So I mean, at this point, are we just taking things with a grain of salt, or what are we doing at this point?
And see, in my case, I take offense to it because when the Olympics was set up, it was set up to be impartial. No religion, no politics. This is the best that the nations have to offer. They're coming here to compete, even if nations are at war with each other.
Something that, like,
They can come here and compete without any politics or any partiality toward religion or any of that nature. So I do take offense that they brought that into this.
Caller, what's going on? You're on live right now with the Diamond Effect. How you doing?
I'll call in and talk a little bit more shit. This is Ken again. This one, I'm kind of I'm torn on because on one hand I support free speech, but on the other hand, you can't just go around disrespecting people's beliefs like that overtly and expect people to just deal with it. Now, we all know they would never do this to Muslims. Now, why would they never do this to Muslims? They wouldn't do this to Muslims because Mr. Ahmed is going to put a certain kind of special vest on and come see your ass about disrespecting his religion. He ain't playing that shit, right? So, I just want to say, I guess, salute to the Christians out there that, deal with disrespect and they just let it kind of, I'm not a Christian myself. I have my issues with religion in itself in general. But I don't believe in just disrespecting people's faith just outright. Now, I'll debate somebody on their faith if they're open to it, if I have my disagreements, they have their faith, and we'll debate the topic. But as far as just doing the Last Supper like that, they knew what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if a Christian ends up running up and slapping the shit out of whoever put that on, hey, I wouldn't say anything. I mean, it is what it is. You had it coming, man. But anyway, I'm not going to ramble, but that's what I wanted to say about that. That's BS. Again, I believe in free speech, but you can show respect and respect free speech at the same time.
Absolutely.
And again, you don't disrespect something like that, somebody's faith system like that, and expect people to. There may be retaliation. That's all I'm saying. Somebody might run up and slap the shit out of that guy, whoever put that on, and it's a Christian. And hey, I think you had it coming because it is what it is. Anyway, y'all have a good one.
Much love.
Call from
Joseph Mayoni.
to accept, press.
Joseph, my man, you're live right now on the Diamond Effect. How you doing, kind sir?
Good, Mikey. How you doing?
I'm good, doing well, man. How's everything?
Everything is awesome. What's the topic, you guys? I just tuned in here.
Man, right now it's everything about the world. Within pretty much the last, I would say, 6 weeks, I would say it's kind of crazy. We're doing a call-in show right now. What you think of what's going on basically in the world right now? What do you think?
Well, the Olympics thing kind of caught my mind with the transgender fighting natural-born women.
What do you think about that?
Not fair. Someone's going to get hurt. Yeah. Men and women.
So you're worried. You're worried about the women contenders.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, because there's males fighting them.
Yeah, just physically males. If you get a male the same weight and a female the same weight,
right,
the skeletal structure, the muscle strength, everything is completely different, right?
Absolutely, 100% right.
So yeah. So what's up going on, Mr. Bishop?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
And shout out to Aaron too.
How you do?
I don't know. So Joseph, were you able to hear Archbishop respond to you and Aaron respond to you, or no?
No, I couldn't really hear it. I got to see.
I don't know why that is a thing. I don't know how we fix that. Yeah. So they responded to you. Much love and respect, kind sir.
All right. You guys have a good night, eh, Mikey?
You as well, kind sir. Appreciate you.
Okay. Take care. Bye.
Shout out to you in Canada, man. That's awesome. Love to hear it, man. I don't know why that glitch is a thing. Don't know. All the audio's on. Yep.
Right.
Anyways.
Now to go back to this, I'm not gonna stay on this topic long. I'm just gonna say my little thing and we're gonna go on. Now, I'm gonna say this because I want to be stern about what I'm saying, but I don't want to offend nobody either. So everybody's entitled to their own opinion, their own views, their own beliefs. I don't care about that. What I do care about though is the actual depiction because to me, when I seen it, it was a blatant disrespect. Why? Because in our generation, me and Aaron's generation, there were certain things that we grew up that was instilled in us as children.
Like a certain moral ethic and code.
Right. There's a code that you grew up with. Nowadays, that code is nowhere to be seen. Okay.
Of course.
Now, if you want to have a drag show and you want to have your drag queens sit out there and do the fucking Macarena, I don't give a damn. But don't do it on the Last Supper, though. That's just disrespect. You know what I mean? That's disrespect.
I agree.
Now it seems like now these days, it's like dealing with that particular type of scenarios. It's like it is constantly pushed. It's pushed on your kids. It's pushed to. It's pushed on everything. You know what I mean? So I respect you for what you do. Whatever you do, you do. But it shouldn't be mainstream where where it crosses the line of disrespect, and I think that's what they did.
What's going down, my man? You are live on the Diamond Effect right now. Apparently our phone lines are messed up, so only I can you can only hear me. You can't hear the other two on the panel. So just
unless you're watching the show, then
unless you're watching the show, you can respond to them on the show, but you'll have a little bit of a delay. So, anyways, what's going down, my man?
No, just wanted to call up and say that y'all doing a great job with the show.
Appreciate that.
And that no doubt. And I think everybody needs to start coming together. There's a lot of division right now, and whether you're left or right, we need to look at the big picture and realize that if we don't all get our shit together, it's going to be bad for everybody.
I tend to agree. It seems like that no matter what, it seems like it's getting more and more divided as the days go on. It's not now just, left versus right. It's men versus women. It's Republican versus Democrat. It's everything at this point. And what are your thoughts on how we're going forward? Do you think we're going into, like, at this point, like maybe even a war or World War III at this point? What do you think?
I don't know. It's going to be shaky for sure, but I just think it's crazy right now with everything going on. It seems like they're trying the best to divide us, and I think if you always have to look at what we're not seeing, basically everything's kind of like a smoke screen, and what's going on behind the scenes is what's really scares the hell out of us all, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, we bring it all the way back to, like BlackRock and Vanguard and all of these companies that are funding a lot of these narratives too. I mean, there's so much that goes in between everything, but yeah, I mean, you look behind the scenes, even behind the scenes, there's behind the scenes, I always say follow the money, right? So, but yeah, man, it's crazy what's going on, the narratives that are being built.
No doubt. Well, I just wanted to say big props to all y'all, and y'all doing a great job, and shout out to Aaron and AB as well.
That's
Salute.
right. That's right, my man. Appreciate you.
All right, take care, brother.
Absolutely, you as well. Man, I love that.
Yeah. So we're gonna jump into this next one, but before we jump on to the next one, you guys are sitting there watching. Hit that like button, brother. Hit that like button. We can get this pushed out there.
That's right.
Thank you. 3, 2, 1.5 seconds. Beat.
Yeah, not even 0.25 seconds. Yeah, no, it means the world. It's the number one metric of all of YouTube. It's how YouTube lets everyone know that we're doing something right here. So appreciate it.
So the next story we're going to is did you hear about the missiles that struck the soccer field in Israel?
Yes.
And it killed 11 people, wounded over.
I heard it was 12 children.
Well, there's, like I said, every day has been adding up, because it was 10 a couple days ago, it was 11 yesterday.
Wow.
So it's 12 today. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it was
I heard. It's 12
bunch
now.
that was injured along with that. So of course you have Hezbollah that says that they didn't have anything to do with it, but then of course you have Israel saying, yeah, they did investigate, yes, it was y'all that did it.
Mm-hmm.
But
they're not owning up to it. They're not saying, hey, it was us, right?
Right, which is causing another stir. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Which is bringing this even more. Dealing with that particular issue there. During a wartime situation, you really can't, like, you try as much as possible to keep from, hitting innocent bystanders. But then you have some that don't even care. Just like this particular situation here, I feel that they knew exactly what they were aiming for. So why would you shoot a missile to land right in the middle of a soccer field? And it says that all the ones that were wounded or unalive at this time were women and children.
Mm-hmm.
There were very few men that was even there.
Right.
So, but I have a quick little 30-second one, and then we're going to jump into this one.
Let's do it.
لا مفيش نهضة مفيش واو كل مرة شفت متجرب اوه بار فانتاسي انا عارف الحقوا اهربوا 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 تم استهداف العودة.
So now that was the actual footage.
Yeah.
Why?
You know, I think right there they were on for a main target. I don't know how far away that was from the main target. I would assume, I would at least hope out of the entire thing that it was maybe a miscalculation, or you know, they were going for the main dude, and unfortunately there was innocent civilians around, stuff like that. I don't know how far away it was from the killing of the Hamas's leader, but at the same point, it's very sad, you know, to see that, you know, we've got grown men making decisions on the death of other people's deaths. It's kind of crazy how we're just playing God at this point.
Well, you know, this has been going on for a long time.
Yes, it's been going on way longer than I've been alive, you know, way.
Right. And it seems like that the ones who get the blunt end of this are people that don't even have anything to do with this.
Correct.
You know, you got kids.
It's innocent.
Women,
Always
that don't even have
innocent.
anything to do with this. Yes. So you know, this is like with the whole back and forth thing between the Israelis and the Palestinians, and you got Hamas, and now you got Iran jumping into it, bunch of different things. I mean, don't you think that this is like a kind of like a genocide type situation? Like they're just trying to eradicate the other, like,
of course.
Like, I don't give a damn what happens. I mean, as long as I want you all gone.
Right. Of course. This is a genocide. 1000%. I'll let Aaron take it from there.
You guys are going to get mad at me because my perspective is a little bit different here.
Go ahead. Bring it.
Okay. Hamas is a political group. Hezbollah is military. Okay. And the political group, your population has voted for you to be in power. So even though there's a crisis going on there, the reason why Israel is hitting the schools, the reason why Israel keeps hitting the hospitals is Hamas's headquarters are in the bottom of the hospitals. They're in the bottom of the schools. They're using the population as human shields, and the population is allowing themselves to be used as human shields. That because they feel the United States and Israel won't attack. But what does Israel do? Israel does the opposite of what they expect. They go after them. That's the reason why some of these guys that's been killed here recently, these politicians and generals and things think it's cute and fashionable to be posing next to the terrorists, but the terrorists is being tracked by their telephones and satellites. And when they figure out where they're at, they're going to kill them. And if you're standing anywhere close to him, you're going to die with them. So you better realize that these bad guys have targets on their backs. I mean, look at Qatar. Okay, the guy that they just killed last night had been hiding out in Qatar, the country. Qatar holds favored nation trade status with the United States. Now we could put pressure on Qatar and say, hey, you want to continue to ship your goods over here and have access to the American markets? You want to not have to pay the tariffs and have that favored nation trade status? Get them people out of your country. Quit protecting them and hiding them from us. You know, bring them out in the open. But if you're going to hide them, then we're going to put sanctions against you. We're going to not trade with you. We're not going to give you access to our markets. We're not going to sell you food. So, I mean, there's pressure that we can bring to bear but our present government's not doing that right now. So Pakistan can hide people, Qatar can hide people, but that was the big mistake that the guy who got killed yesterday, he assumed that once he flew from Qatar to Tehran, and he even said it, they wouldn't dare attack me in the capital of Iran. Now let's go back in history, early part of this year, when the Iranian Republican Guard general was killed. Where was he killed at? In Damascus, the capital of Syria. The guy that was killed for Hezbollah, the number 2 guy that got killed, where was he killed at?
No
what
kidding.
was the name of that city he was killed in? Beirut.
Yes.
Capital of Lebanon.
Yes. And in Lebanon, out of all places, right?
I mean, I remember when hostages was taken in Uganda and Israel went in and got their people back. When you think that you can predict what your enemy's going to do, that's when you're most vulnerable. I'm going to stop there.
You're not kidding. You're not kidding. I like that. I like that take. It's a hot take.
But you know, they also have, like I said, what Aaron was talking about, that they're basing up under these hospitals and schools and all that, but they also have a massive amount of tunnels that they've been running to. I mean, it's a massive amount of tunnels that they do. Even if you was bombing, you know, you're not hitting none of them because they're in the tunnels. You know what I mean? Unless you gassing them out. You know what I mean? If you do that, of course, that's against the Geneva Convention. If you know what I mean, gassing them out of there. So you can't do that, which is crazy because when you're in war, why is there rules on your end, but not rules?
Right. Not on their end. Right.
Right.
Good question.
Right. Like I can gas your ass, but you can't gas me because it's Geneva Convention says that you're not allowed to gas me, but I can gas the shit out of you. You know, but this is the stuff that's been going on for years. You know what I mean?
Nothing new.
Right. This is just more right now is because of, you know, what happened back in August of last year when they came through and killed all those people that was at that party and all that stuff. That's what kind of that was the precursor that brought all this stuff on. But they've been fighting over there for, you know what I mean, a number of years. And at that point, nobody really cared. It's now, once that happened, then it was like it started gaining attention. Once you had the U.S. come over there with the carrier group, then that strikes attention. But all these years that they've been over there fighting, and you know, you sit there and watch the news, and all the time you hear Israeli and Palestine doing such and such and such and such.
No kidding.
And it lasts for about 30 seconds, and then they move on to something else. It's like they didn't give a shit doing that.
It went right over it, brushed over it like it was nothing. Yep.
Right. You know, now it's a big deal because, of course, you got the U.S. involved with it now. You know what I mean? And
good call out.
You know, and you still sitting here with you still gonna have to rectify the part that, you know, okay, yeah, you got who you was looking for, but you just shot a missile into Iran.
Now we're talking different politics.
Right. So you still got to answer for that because you know they ain't gonna just let that go. They're gonna do something. Not. They're not gonna just let that go.
They're gonna retaliate somehow.
Right. And then here's another question, Aaron. I'm gonna ask you this. Now you know if Israel shot a missile and it went to Iran, right? Had to fly over Jordan to get there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, wasn't the Jordan president pitching a fit when Iran said that they was going to shoot missiles over or they was going to send drones over? And what you bet not send nothing into my airspace. If you do, we're going to shoot it down. So
Who said that? The leader of Jordan? Who said
Jordan.
this?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Because in order for you to hit Iran, you got to go over Jordan to do it.
Yes.
So the question is that how did they allow that? And you know that they're going to shoot something over here.
Yes.
You know what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
And you got Jordan sitting right in the middle. Go ahead, Aaron.
Okay, now in the last two attacks, F-35 stealth fighters were used. The guy that killed yesterday, the Hezbollah guy, Hamas guy, #1 guy, he was killed by an F-35 that got close to the city of Lebanon. They couldn't pick it up on radar because it's a stealth fighter. It released a missile. I think the Israelis had somebody on the ground lays in that guy's bedroom window, because that missile flew some distance and landed, went right into his bedroom. And then they were careful on the amount of explosive they used, because I thought they dropped the building on the dude, and they didn't. The building was still standing, but his room was tore to hell and back. So they were very measured on trying to avoid
very precise.
And I mean, it showed how technically precise they were.
Yes.
And yes, they did cross Jordan. Jordan, which to my amazement, helped to shoot down some of the Iranian missiles that was flying toward Israel. And from what I hear, the Saudis is helping to shoot some of them down. But I don't know how long that's going to last. I mean, who is buying their help? And then Egypt is sitting out. Their forces have moved up to the Sinai Peninsula, which Egypt is not allowed to have artillery and heavy tanks in Sinai, but they moved up to the border with Israel, and they claim that they're going to help Israel, but Israel's got that major force at their back door. And who's buying off the damn Egyptians to keep them from entering the war on the side of the other Arabs? I mean, I'm seeing some change of faces that years ago, Egypt was one of the main ones that was attacking. So I'm amazed at the change of face that I'm seeing right now.
I agree. Now, along with that, we're gonna run into this next one that we're talking about, and that's with the whole stir up that happened in Venezuela.
Oh boy.
Yeah. You know, to the ones
Could I add one more point before you go there?
Go ahead.
Okay. Right now, the main concern is going to be the widening of the war in Israel. How is Iran going to respond? And if the response is there, you got Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, which are Iranian proxies. That's 3 fronts right there that Israel would have to fight on. Then you have Iran. That's a 4th front. Lebanon, 5th front. Yemen, 6th front. And Turkey's now talking about coming in and trying to invade Israel. They cannot cross Syria because the Turkish president hates the Syrian president, but Turkey has the largest armed forces in the area, considerably larger than anybody else. But they're talking about invading Israel itself. That's 7 fronts Israel would have to fight on. And if Iran comes in, that automatically brings in the Russians. If the Russians enter, that brings in China and North Korea, which automatically brings us in. I mean, if Egypt enters, if Turkey enters, and Turkey's a NATO country, we'll be fighting our own weapons. They'll be using shooting their own weapons at us.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly what I was getting ready to say.
I mean, this is bad, and it's going to spread so fast. There's going to become a regional war. Now, you look at all the oil that comes from that area. You look at the trade that comes through the area. Will trade stop? Or will it continue, but wartime prices will invoke, and you'll see prices 4 times higher than what they are now? I mean, a gallon of milk, if it's coming from that area, might cost you $20. Gasoline could be $15, $20 a gallon at that point.
Right.
I mean, wartime profiteering, people are going to smell money to be made, and they're going to capitalize on it. I mean, greed is a major thing in this world right now. If people can make money, they're going to do it. And they're
I
going to
don't
use
think
whatever excuse they can exploit to make the profits.
we're
And that's
in
it.
the living
Go ahead.
time of where it is all about greed. We have never been in a more greedful time, I don't think. I mean, yeah, there's been greed in the past, but at this level, it's definitely crazy to say the least. With that being said, guys, I do have a heart out. I do have some family over. I'm going to be going out to dinner. So I just wanted to interject real quick and say that I really respect and love you guys. I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your show. I do have to dip out, sadly. And I really appreciate you guys and everyone in the chat that's been here hanging out with us in the Diamond Effect. I really appreciate you guys. I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of it, because Archbishop and Aaron always have an amazing context to everything that's going on, man. They keep me tuned in into a lot of this shit. So with that being said, gentlemen, I'll see you guys on the flip side.
All right, man. Enjoy yourself.
Absolutely appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Okay, Aaron. So now we have now we got Venezuela. Okay. And you know, I'm sure everybody knows about some of the stuff that's going on there. You know, they've been going on. There's been a lot going on with them and the president that they had there. And of course, they're saying that the president cheated on the election. And I mean, like, it's gotten as bad to the point that there's actually a bounty on his head.
Yes.
But he had also put bounties on other people that was running against him.
Yeah.
So I don't know her name, but I know that she was a woman that's the one that they're saying beat him in this election.
Right.
And he's actually done put a green light and a bounty on her. So you don't know where she is right now, but from my understanding, the U.S. put a bounty on him. Am I correct about that? Like 15 million, wasn't it?
15 million, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's to be alive. Alive, right?
Right.
They
He
want-
has to be alive.
Yeah, they want to try him in U.S. courts for drug trafficking and some other crime. And I wasn't aware of the drug trafficking, but today I posted a video on my Facebook page that came from the Angry Prepper. He's a fireman out of New York. There's a gang there from Venezuela that's come into the country, and one of their members, a young boy, shot 2 cops. I don't know if they're dead, but he shot them. And when they captured him and took him in for questioning, they asked him why. He said, well, in our country, when police get in the way, we shoot them. So they're trying to bring that type of activity over here. And is that going to encourage the police to get more gun happy? I mean, I can't see them taking that. So
is that that MS-13? Is that
No.
Is that the gang you talking about?
This is a different group. MS-13 is out of Mexico. I can't think. They got a funny sounding name. It's a 2-word name, but they're running even MS-13 away. They're taking over the street corners in different areas from the different gangs. I mean, this group is extremely violent. And when I saw that, then I realized why the United States was wanting to try Maduro for drug trafficking, because this group is coming from his country, but they don't wear the gang tats that makes them easily identifiable, so they can infiltrate in at the border without no problem, because the border police is looking for gang tats to try to weed you out. These guys ain't got no tats on them, so they're coming right on in.
Right. Now, you know, another reason why a lot of these countries is focused on Venezuela is because Venezuela is a natural resource that everybody wants, and that's oil. you know, and me and you were talking earlier because Venezuela has a different kind of oil. They have what they call a heavy crude oil, which is different than what everybody else has. And
Right.
with that particular type of oil, you can kind of spread it out. Like I was telling you, I made the analogy as though as like if somebody had like if somebody had a drug and they was trying to add stuff to it to spread it up, you know what I mean, to make it bigger than what it was. This is what you can do with this heavy oil. You can add certain things to it to thin it down, and you know what you would normally get 1 barrel of heavy oil would equal 6 to 7 barrels of regular oil. You know what I mean? So that's you know, back in the day, that was the reason how Venezuela flourished like they did when they was under Hugo Chavez, because Hugo Chavez owned Citgo. So they was using that oil, and that money was benefiting Venezuela, and you know that they used for like schools and everything else. But then once Hugo Chavez passed away, then it seemed like Venezuela just went down the tubes after that. But that oil is still there. You know what I mean? China wants their hands on it. Russia wants their hands on it. The U.S. want their hands on it. So, but there's been a lot of civil unrest there for several years now, you know, because their money, their currency went up in flames a long time ago, you know, and they got a lot of sanctions and stuff from the U.S., you know, which basically put them in a bad spot, you know. So, so even with this guy or this woman, if they put her in it, you know, I mean, of course, if that happens, it's going to be an agenda that these other countries think that they can jump in on. But what's your take on it?
Well, going back to what you were saying about the heavy crude has a consistency of almost tar. It's thick. And if you mix light sweet crude with it and a few chemicals, like you said, you can take one and make it into many. Venezuela's got more oil underneath it than Saudi Arabia has. That's how much oil that country is floating on. Everybody wants their hands on it. Now, right now, because of what's breaking out overseas, there's a chance trade of oil may stop. So we're buying oil right now from Venezuela. We're trying to get our hands in there, but keep in mind that they claim to be socialists. They lean more toward the Soviet Union, and they're trying to be a part of that BRIC alliance. So if war breaks out, like in '73, when the Arab-Israeli war broke out, and all the Arabs formed together and did an oil embargo against the United States, and we saw gas lines here between a block to 4 blocks long, and some of them stretched for miles, just try to get some gasoline, and the price of gas went up 4 times what it was. We could see the same thing again, and where we normally would have been able to get the oil from Venezuela, if they become part of the Soviet Union's BRIC alliance, then they may not sell to us. I mean, just like me and you talked about the other day, Soviet Union sailing these fleets down there to Cuba, and when they leave Cuba, they go down to Venezuela. And you know, tell them what they're bringing in there or how many troops they're dropping off. Nothing. But
right,
you know, they're on the verge of revolution right now, and almost to the point of civil war. That country looks like a war zone with all the fires and fighting going on, but the population is mostly unarmed. They don't have weapons. You could take 1 million of them and put them on the street, and you put 300,000 fully armed military on the street with air support and tanks. That population would be a it'd be a massacre. And the only thing the United States will be able to do when the atrocities start happening, all we're going to be able to do is put more sanctions against them, which when you hurt their economy, you're hurting the people. The government's still going to eat high on the hog. It's the people that's going to suffer when them sanctions come in.
Right. I got a quick little video here. I'm gonna Let me hit right quick little 30 seconds.
Now to Venezuela, where anger over the disputed results of the country's presidential election is growing. Violent protests erupted in the streets of Caracas yesterday, and at least 11 people are reported dead. Demonstrators are demanding authoritarian ruler Nicolas Maduro accept defeat. He is claiming victory, but his opponents say they have evidence showing they won the election. President Biden and other world leaders are calling on the government to release the voting data from Sunday's election.
Okay, so according to the election results, it's like he unanimously won, right?
Right.
I mean, so if you was gonna cheat, like don't make it unanimous though. If you're gonna cheat,
Right.
I mean,
Right.
you could have made it where it was real close and you won by a couple thousand votes or something like that. Don't make it to where like you just think like everybody just loves you. You know what I mean? Like you automatically knew that wasn't gonna work. You knew that wasn't gonna work. The Venezuelans has been suffering as a country for a number of years now. Why would like even for him to like wanted to just stay in power as long as like okay, I don't want to accept the fact that this woman beat me. I'm still going to be president, and we even if the country goes to shit, I'm still going to be the president. What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, he don't want to give up power, and neither does his cabinet. I mean, people voted to become socialists, but the funny thing about socialism was once you vote yourself into it, you can't vote yourself out of it. Because the few people that run everything and hold on to power, they will never give power up. I mean, Maduro issued an arrest warrant for that woman that supposedly won the election, and if his thugs find her, they'll probably say that she committed suicide in a cell or something. I doubt she'd live a day. If I was her, I'd be trying to get the hell out of that country right now and come back later. And then you've got the United States, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica, Uruguay, Panama. All these are Spanish-speaking countries, and they are all saying that election was rigged. They are not accepting it. So Maduro right now is going to Brazil because Brazil wields the power down in South America. They're trying to get them to side with them and recognize them as being the legitimate leadership. But Brazil is conducting their own investigation. They're part of the BRIC Alliance. They're one of the founders of the BRIC Alliance. They're not jumping totally in quite yet. They're kind of riding the fence. So I'm going to be curious to see which way they go.
Mm-hmm. See, but also though, you remember back a little bit ago where they called themselves cleaning out their prisons, and they shipped a lot of them Venezuelans up this way.
True.
They shipped a bunch of them up this way that they took right out of prison and shipped them up here, trying to clear out their spot. You know what I mean? And of course we took them. You know what I mean? We didn't. I mean, I'm sure they didn't find out till later on who exactly they were, but they ended up here. You know, so it's a bunch of shiesty shit for real. And it's going on everywhere. Like it's not just here; it's everywhere. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I don't think when we dealing with all these different countries and everything that they're dealing with right now, there's some type of fighting going on. You have, so when you think about it, you have unrest everywhere. It seems like everybody's fighting everywhere around the world but us. You know what I mean? Now we fight amongst ourselves, stuff like that. I'm talking about like actual civil unrest, wars, stuff like that. Everybody's fighting but us. So you know that if that's really what's going on, that there's a possibility that change here too. If one or two things happen, same thing could easily happen here. You
Well,
know,
you look. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the first stage of warfare is propaganda. That's your media, different forms of media. They're the ones that sow the seeds of dissension. From those seeds grow the violence and the civil unrest. It's divide and conquer. And that's what they're doing. I mean, here in the United States, the media's got us so divided, we're almost on the verge of civil war ourselves. And could there be election violence after this election comes up, no matter who goes in office? The right or the left can take offense and start protesting, fighting, whatever. It's a real possibility. And it's almost scary that in this day and time, we would be seeing this. I mean, you should be able to have a difference of opinion from me, and we should still be civil toward one another.
Right. You know, I think this election right here is really gonna tell what the future of the U.S. is gonna be, because there's so much talk right now. You know what I mean? It's like I said earlier, you're like one or two things from happening to like ignite this powder keg that we got brewing here. You know, and it's all politically based. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to bring up no political shit. I'm not even gonna sit here and talk about it. But that's what it's gonna be. You know what I mean? And either way it go, we done been lied to by both sides. We've been lied to from both sides for a number of years. You know what I mean? There hasn't been actual one, not one, that actually came out and told the truth about anything that's been going on. They've been hiding that shit for years. You know, yeah. And we sit here and argue and fuss and fight for people that lied to you, which doesn't make sense for me. You know, and especially being the fact that why are we not pointing the fingers at these congressmen and these senators? Because they're the ones that are coming up with all these laws. They're the ones coming up with these bills. It's not Trump. It's not Biden. It's not Kamala. It's the House. It's the Senate. Mm-hmm. You know, they're the ones that come up with this stuff. They don't even get their hands on it unless it passed them first. You know what I mean? So we're looking in the wrong place. You need to turn around and look at them behind you. Turn around and look behind you. Go, they the ones that's doing it. But you see them all the time pointing fingers. Well, it's Biden that did this. Well, Trump did this. Now, Biden and Trump ain't done shit. They ain't done nothing until y'all approved it. Y'all signed off on it. It's the only time it hits their desk is when y'all agree to it. You know, so we're at 118. So we're gonna shut this down. But I'm gonna let you get the last word in, Aaron, and you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Let me get mine off real quick.
Right. I do want to go back. I do want to go back to Israel for a quick second.
I'm gonna let you do it. I'm gonna let you do it. Let me finish. Let me say my goodbye, and then I'm gonna let you say whatever you want to say. I'm gonna turn it over to you. Because I know that you got a long little thing that you're gonna do. So, and as soon as you finish, I'm gonna shut it down. But like I said, I want to thank everybody for coming. Like always, y'all come here every week. Y'all holding us down. I appreciate it bottom of my heart. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Tell your people. Shoot them the link. Let them come on here and watch us for themselves. You know what I mean? Do your own investigation. Check out a lot of this stuff that we're talking about. So that way you know more about it. You know what I mean? Don't just listen to what we're telling you. Look it up for yourself. See it for yourself. And then govern yourselves accordingly. But I'm going to let Aaron close this out. Like I said, love y'all. See y'all in 7 days. Take it off, Aaron.
Okay. We're going back to Israel. We're talking again propaganda. The media has so divided Israel. Israel is a country surrounded by enemies, and they're divided among themselves right now. A third of them don't want the war, period. Another third wants the war because they're tired of every 5 to 7 years being attacked by an Arab group. And then the third group, the right wingers, they want the Samson option to be invoked because they're tired of this. They just want to go on and nuke them and get it over with. And knowing that people are thinking in that manner, knowing that Soviets and China is probing us for weakness, knowing that we're headed toward a war that I think is unavoidable at this point. We may not want it right now until after the election, but depending upon how Iran comes back, we may get it before the election. And if we do, then the War Powers Act goes into place and the current administration stays in office, and there will be no election this coming November because we don't change presidents in the middle of a major war. You talked a minute ago about things passing through Congress. How about the PrEP Act that just got invoked here recently? PrEP Act is the Public Readiness and Emergency Preparedness Act. When I saw that they invoked that, I thought, well, good. Now finally the Congress and them is going to tell the American people to start preparing. When you look it up, you'll find out it's anything but. That act was put into place under George W. Bush in December 2005. It went through Congress. Congress was heavily levied by Big Pharma. And George W. Bush was heavily lobbied, which means money was paid to buy votes. When they signed that bill, what it does is it makes it where anyone who makes or manufactures countermeasures to disease, those are those shots that we take for COVID and any disease that comes out, if they make countermeasures and you come down sick, you're limited as to your remedies to be able to go after these companies. This was set in place in 2005, passed through Congress, signed by the president, and they just invoked it recently. Why? The question is why? Are people coming down sick that took the shot? It's been 3 years, and people who didn't take the shot, they ain't died. None of them are dying. So are people having health risks that now you're going to have to come forward and say that? I remember when Pfizer was having a lot of trouble with their people coming down sick or having bad reactions to their shot. So why are they invoking the PrEP Act right now? There's got to be something going on, and we're not being told about it. So, as I tell people all the time, get out in front of this stuff. Dig for the information. They ain't trying to hide it no more. They don't even care if you know. Take the time to study the situation and figure out what your response is going to be. Because remember, the strong survive and the prepared will thrive. And I'll stop there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Aaron, I appreciate you as always, brother. You always come on here and we can get that dialogue going back and forth, and you always shooting out this knowledge. So I appreciate you for coming out with me.
I feel very fortunate that you let me come on and do it. So it's greatly appreciated. It gives me something to do.
Well, I appreciate you being on, brother. And Mike was on. I'm sure he said it. He said the same thing. But you see it, folks. You heard it. Only thing we can say is to get your own information, look at it, see that what we're telling you is legit, and get yourself together. Get yourself together. That's the main key to all these shows. Get your shit together because your time is running low. So, as for me, Aaron, see y'all again 7 days.
One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. One day I'm gonna be free. Mentally and physically, emotionally and spiritually. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm standing at the crossroads, I'm feeling like a lost soul. Don't know where I wanna go, but all I know is I wanna be free. They telling me to let it be, but that just ain't in me, no. Jealousy and envy, but all I see is I wanna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Don't let it get the most of me. Eventually, I'm gonna be free. See everything I wanna be, exactly what I'm gonna be. Yeah. One day I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna be free. Let me be free. One day I'm gonna